the Room podcast to talk about his matchup happening on April 1st for CES 67 is Harris Bonfiglio. What's up, my man?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great, bro. Congratulations, man. I believe this is your third trip to the CES cage, man. How you feeling about getting back in there?
I'm feeling great. My one and only loss, my first time going to CES is now in title contention. He's on the bantamweight circuit for Bellator. And so, hey, if I was going to lose to anybody and have one loss on my record, it's going to be him. And
Exactly.
I've been keeping in touch with him. He's a real cool dude. I wish him nothing but the best. I hope he wins. I really do.
Yeah, and he's 8-0 as you speak. You only lost as a pro, man, but all your other fights, man, first round finishes, first round sub finishes, man. Let's talk about the grind and getting back in there. CES, man, in basically your backyard. How you feeling about that? Fighting in front of fans and friends and training partners again.
To be honest, I used to get very nervous fighting in front of everybody. I've had ups and downs in my career. You see in my amateur record, it's like all over the place. One thing that I did after the Jordan Lugo fight that I lost is I went and saw a sports psychologist. And ever since then, I just been, an animal. I know it's just one fight, but there's a huge difference with my mentality going fights now. It's like we're walking, like talking to you right now. It's nothing to me.
Well,
I don't get nervous.
now, was there something going on in the head when you would walk into the cage, or was it leading up to the fight itself, or was it all the factors involved there?
It was like sports anxiety, always thinking that, your opponent you're trying to think what your opponent's going to do all the time. And that was like my biggest thing because I would always try to think of, are they going to do this or are they going to do that? And trying to plan for everything in my head. And instead of worrying about what I'm going to do and give a crap what they're going to do, because they're going to do whatever. It doesn't matter. You can't predict what they're going to do. You just got to worry about yourself. And I started doing that and just caring, and and there you go.
Well, it paid off, bro. Your last fight, a submission finish, but the way you got him to the ground, man, a big head kick, bro, and man, highlight finish there, man. How'd you feel about that? And like I said, it looked like it paid off, and you implemented your game and didn't wait for him to react.
Yeah, I knew that he was leave me an opening. I watched a couple of his fights. Really good amateur fighter. I know that was his pro debut going in there. And I saw he had a tendency to basically have a first round. Like, he would always finish in the first round most of his fights. So I knew his gas tank, he would just try to do everything he can in that first minute to get out of there. So I figured I just got to wait him out a little bit. And I'm a fourth degree black belt in Taekwondo. I've been doing Taekwondo since I was 6 years old. I got on the U.S. I started competing internationally at 8 years old and got on the U.S. team when I was 14 and competed all the way while I was 18, 19 years old. And then I started doing jiu-jitsu right around there. I've been training under Andrew Calandrelli, I think, since 2015.
Nice. Well, that Taekwondo paid off in that cage, man, and and your jiu-jitsu under Andrew afterwards, man. Is that, like you said, is that something you saw an opening? So was that an implement in your game? Go do that.
Well, not necessarily. I implemented in my game. He dropped his hand for a split second, the opening to his head. He was southpaw. I was orthodox. And his lead hand came down like this, and in an open side. So I knew all I had to do was my hip forward, and it was gonna. Even if he blocked it, even if he somehow brought his hand up there, I knew it was gonna at least stun him. And it just the tips of my toes hit him right in the chin. I could see him kind of. He didn't know where he was, and I knew just rush after him and finish him. And thank God I kind of finished him because I was worried in that fight just a little bit health-wise. I had a lot of issues going on. I wasn't in the best shape. In that training camp, I was out with staff for 2 to 3 weeks. Couldn't train. I couldn't do anything. Really bad. I got staff 1 week. went away, I get it again, and I can't do anything. I can't train. I can hardly work out. I'm on all types of medication, and trying to make it go away to make the fight, and it was a pain in the butt.
As far as this fight getting ready for it, I mean, you've been through a lot, man. You fought a guy that's could be a Bellator champion. You fought, your last fight, a finish, seeing a sports psychologist. What are we expecting, to see on April 1st in CES 67 from you?
I'd probably say another first round finish. I do not like leaving it in the hands of the judges. Clearly, but I feel like personally a lot of people's jiu-jitsu is lacking in this day and age. I feel like everybody's kind of going towards the stand-up aspect. I mean, that's coming from a striker myself, but I kind of see it as more people are trying to emphasize striking because it's a more popular thing. They want to see guys trade and bang, but they forget about that area of the wrestling and jiu-jitsu, which you look at the best fighters, the people that are on the longest winning streaks are those type of hybrid fighters that can decent striking, but that can solve that middle ground aspect of taking them to the ground or having it stand up. If you could decide where the fight goes, you decide whether you win or lose for the most part.
Well, as far as the opponent you're facing, Jason Huntley, dude's a huge veteran, 16 pro fights. Not the best record, but a veteran dude, 16 fights. You were scheduled to fight Tim Flores at flyweight, but Tim health issues and the fight was scrapped. And here's this late notice guy coming in. What does that do as far as you? I mean, in game planning here, is it same as usual? You doing your own game planning, and they have to react to you?
Well, to be honest, when I get ready for fights, I mean, I kind of just train towards the body type, not much the. I mean, sometimes it's towards their style if they're like certain things that they always go to, but mainly towards the body type. So there's not too much of a difference between except for like height between Tim and Jason, and just training for that aspect. Other than that, I just kind of look at what their kind of go-to moves are for the most part, like their safety nets. That's primarily what I trade for and try to exploit.
Well, as far as you were supposed to fight at flyweight against Tim, is that something that's in your future that you wanted to drop down, or is this kind of just a redemption because you guys did fight at as amateurs, and was this just something you wanted to face him in the pros, or is that something you're thinking about doing, going to the
Well,
flyweight?
yeah, I definitely want to try to make like I'm a monster in that weight class, especially guys big as I am. I'm walking around solid 145, like just at my leanest. And, so, I mean, it's a tough weight cut, but it's not impossible. I hired a nutritionist that has been working with me. My boy Dave, you see me hit him up every now and then on Instagram. He's done wonders for me. Got me really healthy. I feel phenomenal. I'm able to eat a little bad food here and there and still stay in shape. And he has me like just health wise, I feel great. I have my conditioning coach, Chris, who's been working with me, been going to, and he's put me through work. And then I got all my training partners. Honestly, I feel like in phenomenal shape. And you ask all my training partners, they don't. I bet they're happy that this fight camp's almost over.
Well, man, like you said, that last training camp, you were going through some, adversity as far as, health wise. You made it through. You said, you didn't feel the best in that cage, but it looked like one of your best performances there. I mean, you can't top 3 first round finishes, but you're predicting another one here. Do you predict which way it's going to go, or it doesn't matter? You just know you're finished this fight in the
No,
first round.
I just know my skill set. I just know my skill set, and I know, with Jordan, when I fought him, I knew I wasn't in the best frame of mind, and I knew I could, whether I win or lose with him, I know I could have went to the with him, even though he did finish me. I just know mentally I was not there, and I kind of broke under pressure, and I told myself I will never let that happen again. And I honestly feel like I'm one of the best in the world, and I'm going to prove that. Just like he's in title contention, one day soon be in title contention. and I'll show it to the world.
Well, my man, last question before I let you give your shout outs and all that. A victory here, first round finish, you're 4-1, all first round finishes, man. What do you think that does for you? What do you think you need to get, to that next level? A couple of more fights? Or do you think the eyes will definitely be on you after this fight, especially fighting for CES in Connecticut, kind of in your backyard and on Fight Pass?
I would say whether it's a couple more fights or this fight, I mean, I would like to get in there with a couple more tough opponents. That's why I was calling out Tim. It was nothing with disrespect or revenge from when we fought as amateurs. It was a very close fight, and we both went toe to toe with each other. And he brought the best out of me, and I brought the best out of him. So I thought it was a really good matchup, and it was going to be great for us selling tickets because of how good our fight was when we were amateurs. And I knew that he's one of the. I think he's ranked top three in flyweight for New England. And my goal was to fight him, and then I wanted to fight him. And if I beat him, I wanted to call out Mitch, who's ranked number one, and because he already fought in the UFC, and I thought that was my ticket to get on the Contender Series and fight for Dana White. That was my plan, but we'll see what happens after this fight.
Wow, man, man, you just gave me chills. I'm smiling here. That's a great matchup right there, and you come away with this, this big win here, man. You get to call your shots, and you can call out anyone you would like in that division, man. And Mitch is a great opponent, and
Yeah.
we would definitely love to see that, man. Especially you with 4 finishes, and just going up the rankings here, man. So kudos to you, bro. Glad to see you back in there, healthy, ready to go, kind of rejuvenated. It's a new year, and CES 67 is a little over a week left, man. Shout outs, brother. Anything you want to say? I know you got a training partner going to battle with you. So anything you want to let out there, social media, throw it out there. I'll let you get going.
Yeah, a big shout out Yuri Payne. He's fighting a card, light heavyweight. I think he's the future for whether he stays at light heavyweight or he drops down to middleweight. He's talked about that here and there, but either way, I mean, every single one of his amateur fights, I think, is first or second round finish. So I don't. We don't at Ultimate MMA. We don't like to go to the judge scorecard. We like to finish. So I'm hoping to keep that this fight. No disrespect to Jason. I know he's a vet, and I have tons of respect for any fighter that gets in there with me. And I just hope we have a good and exciting fight, and the odds are in my favor. That's all.
Excellent, my man. Well, we'll be there watching. Everyone who can't make it will be watching it on Fight Pass, man. It's going to be a great night. A lot of great fighters going in there. A lot of Connecticut fighters going to make their mark. A couple of title fights happening, man. And you going for your 4th win and finish, man. So with that said, bro, thank you so much for the time, man. I know it's crunch time, and I appreciate you coming on with me, man.
Yeah, not a problem. Thank you. Thank you for having me.